Okay, abusuan for ebe makwa abashon so edeba POG Media so abusuan yembonra yensem NPP akwakopi mu ewo court chese Ablekuma North constituency EC rerana or the aba se okwa akoye no na we na NPP amanyoko no are dropping new charges against Jane Mensah Electoral Commissioner ebusuan enye asem keto akra mo chese Jane Mensah Electoral Commission Bossman Asarin so edikan aba parliament aba bitwantro ache parliament se rerande omonye no ne ochina na omo free parliament wa omo asarin so aba abonten ede asem foforo so no aba betudwa entino neoma bia Jane Mensah ye no omo de aba abedane court na ebusuan NPP expose Jane Mensah ewo Supreme Court enye asem keto akra Kevin Taylor ede ehonsem aba betudwa menko na yenkonkoti ensema ekoso na owo ensem kan bi afa share comment section like na share ma afofron so ensa into me enka bi aha POG Media so bedamase
finish it and the show no it's exactly 7:32. We have been on air for 2 hours 53 minutes. Let me strike some 20 minutes in Yampong. And I'll share a topic now. Yeah, the two show this na simple. This was our topic of the day. The caption was that we side with the NPP. We side with the NPP. And this was your flyer and saying an here. Ubeka say, hey, Kevin Taylor today is siding with the NPP. You support the NPP. NPP for say, Ablekuma North. Elections na, Electoral Commission say, Omoba beyen biom in some constituencies, NPP for say enya dia omo support omo pene omo court. Now this is the candidate NPP for Edenebawa Ablekuma. Easy for some rerun. Now the reason why I support the NPP on this is that the NPP almost every right to say the EC the EC does not have the right to rerun the elections. In fact, per the laws, so can rana. I will say EC, a court in Kwa and a high court in Kwa and a bit to me. I'm a sad directive, and a direction say yanko near EC enko rerunning election. EC in Kwa to me sorry, and free demo say. Ghana, Ablekuma North, election organized here. In fact, you have problems binti adiachi in the next 2 days, 10 days. Yes, elections. I don't agree with the EC. And I support the NPP 100%. I support them because they also took part in the elections. We need to listen to them. And at the end of the day, they have all the right to demand answers. They have all the right to make sure, because to them, they believe it's we need elections, And to the NDC to believe it's almost we need elections, And as we speak now, when the NPP says election, we need na EC and constituencies be say na some kind of and I support it. I support it because in principle, it is right. Because near Tiana EC ba parliament beka Ghana for say Ablekuma enya de mobile rerun bia if we say it will go against your democracy. Boss when I started a better parliament catch from the EC's own mouth, rerun isn't part of the issue. The whole thing that we were waiting for the EC to announce the result. In fact, when the EC came to parliament, Ghana for say they only need police protection. When they get the police protection, they can announce the results. They don't care the intimidation. When say Ghana Police Service and more Musa security now. So I don't know how. The EC about Tabaka said no. Constituencies be omuni MPP ni NDC akasa. MPP for say omuni dinkomo biya. NPP for say omuni EC any meeting biya. Until they are not going to adhere to those things EC is saying, and that they are going to instruct their lawyers to go to court and challenge the decision of the EC. And I support that 100%. In fact, this is the General Secretary of the NPP, Bumi Ntieno.
If there are 3 outstanding coalitions that are yet to be done, only 2 are found in the 19 polling stations that the Electoral Commission has presented to us. leaving Glory Land Hotel Odoko 1A. So what we want to ask the Electoral Commission is that when was the collation for Glory Land Hotel Odoko done? That's the question. That's the question to Madam J. Mensah and the commissioners. That we want to find out from you. Where is Glory Land Hotel Odoko 1A? With the polling station code C1612058. Because NDC, NPP, we all know, even the Electoral Commission, your presiding officers, your returning officers, they know that we have not collated the results in that polling station. So how come it is not part of the 19 polling stations? That's why I said, if you want to lie, you'll be exposed.
That's and I support Pentium 2. For the first time, I support the General Secretary of the NPP. Omobusa a simple question, say, Electoral Commission, Glory Land Hotel, Odoko, I know that place. Eye 1A, sa eye police station, coalition mo yen wing. So the NPP, they have all the right to go to court. And nobody can intimidate the NPP and say Adentina Moko court. They have the right. And from the General Secretary's statement, they have factual, they have questions demanding for their reasonable answers. Because the EC cannot just tell them, say, I adiachi, mo NPP for Monsolembra na yenko eden, na yenko twaba. No, it doesn't work like that. This is a political party, and we hear answers. They also invested in the elections. In fact, they are the second biggest political party in Ghana. They were just in power. Omuji means no free power. Until we cannot just say free power until the Mensah Electoral Commission will have to just come out with any result and say I running. So I support the General Secretary of the NPP. In fact, our minority leader Akroma spoke on this matter. This is the minority leader.
Member of this house filed an urgent question, which question compelled the EC to come here. A lot of supplementary questions were asked. The deputy chair, Dr. Bosman, sitting in for his boss, told us that all they need is security to enable them finish the 3 polling stations. I ask a question: what has changed? Mr. Speaker, we should be careful as a democracy how we are managing this democracy. Mr. Speaker, today we have a member in this chamber from Domi Kwabenya, because when it was left with some few polling stations, EC relied on tally cards. Aden Michael Kwe Jr. Onu di onye nipa, onye Ghanini. Michael Kwe Jr. protested, but he did not protest with violence. He did not carry his constituent to the EC Collation Center. He expressed his disagreement in a civil way. Today, we have our colleague Akurugu in with us because EC used tally cards to complete the collation process. And when it is clear that the EC was on course to complete this process, we are being told today that there's going to be rerun of some constituencies. It is unfair, it is unjust. Is it the case, and I don't want to believe that that is the case, that the recent public comment by some senior politicians is what is compelling EC perhaps to secure their job? They want to succumb to the whims and caprices of certain extremists or certain hardliners. It is not fair. Maybe today this thing it is helping some other people. Tomorrow it may be their turn. Mr. Speaker, with all of this said, I would humbly plead with my colleague opposite me to program the EC. We just received Prime Minister Modi talking about our strides in democracy. Let us not wish them away. In the sub-region, many countries wish they were Ghana. They are not Ghana because they took the institutions for granted, and today they are paying dearly for it. Let's not say to ourselves, had I known. EC must come here and brief us why, in spite of their being unequivocal, they have now changed course.
So this is the minority leader, Kasongo 99, Afenyomakin. Onoswa Kasa. Osia. The question the Omontiase. Democracy in your practice. Odun the Jeremuma NPP 88 or parliament. The EC and NCHA. And then I will organize elections. Now some places to crown power, you expect to say, Ube to me de Wankasa unko for king kind. And yet the abandoned you be no. Sabio in Kratabi so crown or church or the Bachelor Ghana for Abra a dance here cramponi was say, San numbers now they chere Ghana for NPP for NDC for no Sabio and Chese a cocratem. Okasa no say Ghana found with you know here. Inti eni se Sabio omo NPP for omo kasa say Nyoman Koye, I was here Jomanu Sibone. Na Sabio omo Ghana no isi no eba parliament be catch omo say. Eye abana sebe eto no eye ablekuma north no abane de omo hia police protection pe na omo abobo aba no eye den na de chin ya sebio isi asa betena ho ka se eye aba no e o se asa akoto no foforo e wo sebio impeso bi so now okasa no o si eye afanyama kene kasa no o si eye electoral commission for ana nipa bi insem bi omo ka say omo djuma omo ye no enso eni no e wo se asesa omo no eno na ahye omo soma ende omo tu anamon we ana on a normal day anka ensema NPP ka general secretary ne ka afenyoma kenka on a normal day anka a normal people speak na anka betiase but when the same animals the same fools san kwasiafo from NPP for when these same people, at the end of the day, decided to protect an electoral commission or electoral commissioner who wasn't consistent in her delivery or in their delivery, these same animals, they defended Mensah. Now, say I see it Ketia Betina TV, so say the electoral commission leadership, they need to be sacked. Kwasiabe Nebetimaka said in Ketia wasn't speaking the truth. Afenyomakin and the general secretary of the NPP, they were justifying what Asiedi Ketia said last week, that the EC is not consistent. The EC cannot do its job. The EC cannot be trusted. Asiedi Ketia make a statement, or Ghana for the reason why he believes, as an individual and the chairman of the NPP, NDC, they should sack the EC bosses. If we say the EC bosses who are not consistent, are dangerous to our democracy. This is the same electoral commissioner. Election 2020, or my results bear 7. The same electoral commission, led by Bossman, led by Jane Mensah, and that TWEP, that is part of them. This is the same electoral commissioner. Omoba Parliament, say they are going to announce the results. They need the IGP to just give them men. This is an electoral commission leadership who are liars, who are thieves. I support the NPP. They are justifying the reason why we don't need Jane Mensah and Bossman Asare at the electoral commission. I support the NPP for every single thing they have said. It shows clearly, say the EC they lie. It shows clearly say the EC cannot be trusted. It shows clearly say the EC is not consistent. It shows clearly say there is some deficiency in the leadership of the Electoral Commission. The NPP, as the biggest opposition, they have raised red flag about the competence of Jane Mensah and her subordinates. I am not the one saying. In fact, the NPP today, they have basically confirmed Asiedun Ketiasemo Kaye, say we need to sack the electoral commissioner. We need to sack the electoral commissioner and her deputies, because if we don't, the next elections, they will bring this country down. We were waiting for a political party to come out and confirm what Asiedun Ketia said. We were waiting for a political party to come out and tell the world to say, Jane Mensah is a liar. Bosman is a liar. Whatever they came to say in parliament was a lie. And today, the NPP, they have justified that. They have made Ghanaians know, say, Mensah needs to go. Bosman needs to go. The other executives of more electoral commission, they need to be sacked because we can't have an electoral commission that comes to parliament to lie to parliament. We can't have an electoral commissioner who comes to parliament and lies to parliament. As someone said, where every Institute of Environment and Sanitation Studies, IESS for the assembly betudwa, SS assembly yenina no yedi ho nkomo. Assembly na saying, cassava, banchi, inkontomre, bordie, nyadoa, ene sebio de mokoa, baby a friend at Etiwa West, Eastern region no, sebio in Sheshemua, Institute of Environment and Sanitation Studies for for computer actually anyway duano sa area what Eastern region no area for Etiwa West no you see anyway banchi fufu ho aka body just say enkwan fufu ho adwuma ni nyina almost say oba Etiwa West sa nnuane ne de galamsey anase galamsey no Ghana insuo na say asase the mercury egugu asase nim e de atu asase ma nsu atene afa ensase ne so no afa enfuom ni ade no nnuane we ya efri Etiwa de west ho no nnuane we dodo ni nyina no sebio lead wom sebio ebetumi akose nipa bebre mo ahwere omo nkwa me na wo ka sei obi te bantama we dey say Etiwa for Eastern region omo gimi yetu body no Eastern region yedigu kama yede bakaje tia na beton central market yetu banchi no ewo Eastern region Etiwa yedigu kama yeba beton ewo central market yeba beton ewo Malata yeba beton ewo Kotokraba yetu bordie yetu yetwa bordie ana Garden X ana fufuo ho nyoma we nyina no yendini nyina we Etiwa East wo yendini Etiwa West yendini wo ho san nnuane we nyina no yetamfri Etiwa West yede ni nyina ba nkrom yede ba krom yede ba nkran yede ba Kumase yene a ye ministers no yene a yese ya asofo akese no yene a yese ya ko school yede yeni ate ya kenkan woma no yene yede bo fufuo tim yene yedi fufuo nyoma we nyina na Etiwa West fo no omuntandi eduane a omudua saa body a omutwa kontomre nkwan saa banchi omutu no 90% of eduane a efri Etiwa West no ni nyina yendini we Etiwa West. This should concern every single person in Ghana. And it didn't start today. It started about 8, 9, 10 years ago. We were all here, especially in fact 8 years ago Akuffo and Bawumia so sa se we ko kan no bi say wo ye politics. Do you know how many years it takes for lead and mercury to destroy soil? It takes years. Inti abedu this point na say ye catch say ya hwehwemu na soil ni mu no bebi aduan kontomre banche bode nyoma ye di bofufuo ma otumfuo no ni nyina no yarewa wom because ya galamse asase na o se tia say time na ye dede when we were speaking against this government opening up the floodgates for Chemaun Tumimo for NPP for to allow lots and lots of Chinese to come in to do galamse. If those things were adhered to and kabani tiye and ka NPP abano take action sen command fanya politics sen ka Akuffo adomo stop Kate Jemfua stop Chemaun Tumi stop Samia Uku stop Kojo Ponkroma stop Lord Komi Gabi Ochedakomo and ka Akuffo adomo amfa party amfra fremu and no for politics amfra and ka enne and ka sa report we can ma remember so report way and 6 months way and a mass we see you. It's over time. And I'm a led way I dominate one sasinum our Etiwa West. Eti banchio bodio nyadua adibi edi wo fufuo bia wo Kumasi bia no ye di no Kumasi na o say etiase say galamsey nya Eastern region kwan e no. Enti say ye say nduane wo Etiwa West wo Eastern region sa yare we nyina wom because of galamsey or say etiase say baby etu galamsey o Ghana bia no sa their research way it basically falls under it, meaning say Ashanti region East Western region, region be a serious galamsey ohobiano, sad way, it should worry every single person. It's not a joke. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, say, the government of the day should not work hard, should not do their best to stop illegal mining. The government needs to work on it. The government needs to do everything to make sure, say, inheritance no more inherit free Akuffo. They have to fight it. The way they are trying to fight our economic problems, this government, they need to also try their best to fight the problem. Because you see, at a point, we had a government that saw the fight against galamsey as a punishment. It saw it as a blockage to their next win. And I say next election win. And they decided to ignore the concerns of the citizenry. They turned it into politics. Time and NPP also, Akuffo also for 8 years. Ghana and Nibian were raising the issue about galamsey. People were insulted by myself, my team, people who watched me for 8 years. Now the consequences, they are there for all of us to bear. And kwasiafo this abon and the press conference foreign water. And the Yofi Grant mo, Gabi Ochida Akomo, Charles Bisumo, Ekwewusi, Pius Hejide, Samia Wuku, Kojo Ponkroma, San Kofona Muye Gala, Chema Untumi Ketije Fu Amono, Omoba press conference, foreign water. But one now defend your Etiwa East, and I say Etiwa West. One now tia Santimemu, Etio Boasha Danse, now we are NPP ni NDC Neku Galamsey, in Tiasier, John Mahama the year campaign, and NDC for no, one now Okono, one ube. And this is inevitable. Yakasa Bonica say, this is inevitable. A wua, a ban will no agent in term. Yemubi Yebewu is a fact. Let's not sit and pretend as if
I was winning and some a course or our political highway. So NPP amanu kuno NHS o makwako piemu ewo court efa electoral commission to mami Mensah AG and Sembi ano ewo court over ne competence ni incompetence efa EC adwumana no abusua e bada masesa moje pene kokoti sa ensem wi edemai medamase